whichever part of the world you are joining us from, Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade welcomes you all for this prestigious event on World MSME Day 2023 and Global MSME Champion Awards. Every year on June 27, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Day is celebrated to honor their role in achieving these substantial sustainable development goals. Small and medium-sized enterprises account for 90% of businesses, 60 to 70% of employment, and they account for half of global GDP according to the United Nations. The Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade is an organization based in India, South Africa, United States, UAE, Singapore, Europe, United Kingdom, with board and council members representing across the world. And we will be celebrating World MSME Day from 26 to 28 June 2023. The theme of this year's celebration is Building a Strong Future Together. In line with this, we are excited to announce the launch of #Brand 10,000 MSMEs Network, a dynamic platform where MSMEs from around the world can connect, learn, and grow together. By joining this network, you will gain access to valuable resources, knowledge sharing opportunities, and a supportive community that can empower you on your entrepreneurial journey. This virtual event will feature engaging keynote speaker, panel discussion, interactive workshops, and networking sessions with industry experts, thought leaders, and successful MSME owners. World MSME Day is an important opportunity to look at this topical issue in a very practical and policy-oriented way in the global context of micro, small, and medium enterprises. Here we ask the rest of the world to work together to help MSME get through the current crisis and build up their ability to handle future shocks. We encourage GCPIT members to create an open, fair, non-discriminatory, and predictable global trade and business environment that helps and encourages MSMEs to participate in international trade and businesses. And I would like to call our first keynote speaker, Mr. Marcus Pfeffer, Managing Partner, Comano Advisory LLP. Welcome, sir.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So shall I start or?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. Then I'll have to share my screen again, I guess.
Yes.
Are you seeing something?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank GCPIT for organizing this event. I would like to thank Ananya for the introduction and Santosh and everybody else for organizing that. It's I know that's always a big work to do that, and that's why I'm very grateful for having done this, and I'm also very grateful for being part of this esteemed event. I'm super excited about it. Ananya mentioned a lot of facts about MSMEs already, so that makes it easy for me to jump straight into the subject. And I'm also a big advocate of MSMEs because, as we already heard, they are the backbone of many economies, and that's why they need the necessary attention whenever we do any business-related events and policies. So I would like to talk in the next couple of minutes about why I think MSMEs should go international, which means basically why they should leave their home market and take part in the whole globalization journey. And for that, I will have prepared that kind of highlight overview, a quick introduction to myself and what we do, something about global market opportunities, which is important because that's why we want to do that. Then some aspects of going abroad, And then if we take this all serious, what would be necessary to develop a suitable strategy to go across? And finally, some words on cross-border M&A as a special channel, as a special way of going international. And then maybe two or three key takeaways from this session. So that's, when it comes to introduction, let me introduce myself again. My name is Markus Pfefferer. I'm the managing partner of Comano Advisory. I'm originally from Germany, but I'm now based here in India. And I'm based in India for 17 years and in the greater Asia Pacific region for the last 25 years. And most of the time I spent on trying to bridge Asia and Europe and US, and in both ways, either bringing foreign companies to these markets or helping local companies to go abroad. So that's why I chose on this subject. And since I'm based in India, my focus here is mainly on Indian companies going abroad today. But obviously, many of these aspects, what I'm touching upon, are due or are relevant for any other markets as well. So with that, let's talk first of all, why should we go global? Why should even small and medium-sized companies leave their comfort zone and try to go abroad, which is always related with certain investment and costs? Now, I have here put three very important factors. One is increased revenue streams, which is the obvious, because obviously when you go into export, when you sell more, you should also generate more money because you access new customers. So these are two very obvious aspects to it. But I would like to spend a little bit more time on the last point, which is diversification of risk. I think what we all learned in the last couple of years with pandemic, with wars, with natural disasters, being climate change or some more local, is that resilience is the key word. And any business leader, any entrepreneur, no matter what industry they're in, no matter how big the company or organization is, it's resilience which should drive you and which should be have a high priority in your day-to-day work. And why do I think that going global helps you to be more resilient? It's because you certainly you distribute the risk of your business to other markets, and often it is like that
So Marcus, can you please unmute yourself?
am I back?
Yes.
Okay, so sorry for the
No
sorry for the hiccups. Yeah. So now that we asked why now since we asked the question why should we go global, let's ask a little bit about what are the aspects of going global. What are certain aspects? What will it mean for you as a business when you become more global, more international? Now, the first point is the obvious. You will have a better brand visibility and reputation, and especially the reputation has often a result for companies, especially when you come from countries like India, that you also benefit in your home turf, because if you show to your home market that you're an international brand, that you're an international company, that gives you more. Sometimes these markets work like that, then gives you more credibility and more weight. The form of strategic partnerships is an obvious, but I think an important factor is access to global talent, and that's in a modern world more and more important. That even if you come from a country like India, which would be a low-cost country, where you would think, why should I invest into talent, which is most probably more expensive outside India, but that's not how you should see it. You should really see it that this enhances you with certain skill sets which you might find difficult in that kind of quality in your home market, and especially if you want to cater to certain markets where you don't have these kind of skill sets at home. So that's why you should definitely, and that will benefit your whole team, because whatever you do in the whole greater scheme of things of HR, you should always have a global view on that. At any talent you acquire, you should always see how you can, so to speak, cross-pollinate the various teams in any market where you operate or busy. So they enter new consumer markets. And again, here, I think an important factor, not only consumer market, also B2B markets, what we see, especially when you look at it from India perspective or emerging market perspective, is that while, especially from an India perspective, while you can say, oh, I have a very big market, 1.4 billion, that's a huge market. Why should I waste my time in looking at consumers outside India? Now, the point is, first of all, that depending on what products you are in, not everybody is of your population is also an addressable market. The other factor is what we see when we go to US and EU or other mature markets, is that sometimes your margins can be higher in these markets. So that is also something which you should keep in mind. When you go internationally, you might get, I wouldn't call it a better price, but a different price. And that could be attractive for you, especially if you handle that carefully. The other thing is capitalize on advanced infrastructure, and that again depends a little bit what you do, how you do it. Is it services or production? Production could be that certain products which you buy, you have to normally import to cater even for your home market. Then if you sell also in the market where you buy certain parts from, that is an advantage, obviously, because you don't have to ship it anymore and you're already there, and you can also develop maybe your supplier base in a total different manner if you are in the market of your supplier. And the last part is, of course, and that's also what I already said, is true for the team, is also for, depending on how big you really get and how you want to organize yourself, you can hedge certain bureaucrats, certain tax issues across markets, and do certain things which, if it's an R&D thing, which might be more difficult to do in one market, you do it in another market, and things like that. So that's the broader scheme of things, some of these aspects. So now we know why and how. So now we need to go into the how into a little bit more detail and develop a real strategy of going forward. So we all agree, and I think many entrepreneurs will also have been already on the same page like I've been for the last couple of minutes, that going international, yes, this makes sense, we want to do it, and we should do it. So, but how do you do it? How do we do it best? And some of these points look very, very obvious. And some of people might think, yeah, that's how you tackle any new market or any new business or any new aspect. But if you look at it from my experience, what I've seen in the last couple of years is not always does it happen that way. So first of all, you have really to determine your goals. What is it what you want to achieve? I mean, how global do you want to be? How much? And this all goes also a little bit hand in hand, because when you do the cost benefit analysis, you need to also know how much money do I want to invest, and that will also identify a little bit your strategic country. And here, strategic country is to my opinion very important, because a lot of small and medium-sized owner-driven companies, the way this works when you go international, it goes out of and my gut feeling is good, but it goes with personal relations. I have a cousin who lives in the US, and he can do a part of his day job, put me in touch with a couple of guys there. Or I know somebody who lives now in the UK, he can help me there. Well, that's low-hanging fruits, and that might give you a quick traction. But to me, that's not a strategy. That's that's nice to start with, maybe, but even to start with, I wouldn't recommend that, because you get carried away. You have some low-hanging fruit, some quick traction, but you don't know why you have the traction. You don't have the traction because your product is so good, or your strategy is so good. You just have it because of some personal relationships. And the question is, how will you scale? How will you make it also resilient? How make it? How do you include it in your growth plan? So that's why I really recommend that you make a good cost-benefit analysis. You choose your first market carefully. But US is big, English is spoken there. It might not be the best country, or often countries go to the neighboring countries because it's next door, very similar to what we do. Again, might not be the right, because your competitive landscape might be too close to what you have in your home market. So there's so many aspects to it. So that's why spend a good amount of time, spend also some money on that, which brings to the market research. Doing market research and developing a decent business plan is something you should really spend time and even money on it. That means the last part, or the second last part, consult with experts. I mean, while we, especially when it becomes for when you want to really set up a presence there, which should be your ultimate goal. I mean, just having somebody there representing you is good for start with, but ultimately your important markets, you should have your own presence there. And if it's your own presence, there are so many options available in any country. And if you have several countries you want to go to, or you need to go to, then there's so many aspects you have to take care of, from employment law to tax law, to what legal entity to choose from, and so forth. And even for the business planning and the market research, if you put in the relevant experts to help you with that, there's no harm doing it. It might cost you something, but it will yield benefit later on. And then, as I said, that's not how you will start most probably your international journey, but this is so to speak the highlight of internationalization, if I may say so. That's cross-border M&A. Basically, you have a target country, or you have an interesting proposal, and you want to just acquire a company in one of your markets where you operate. Now, the benefits of cross-border are again, obviously, when you, which is in any M&A transaction, you build up capital, creation and stabilization. You should grow your business for both companies. That means you have more work to be done. But the most important thing, one very important thing, could be technology transfer. What I really would like to stress here is, and what we see also, is that with a country like India, where the markets are maturing, we have a situation where a lot of companies are now there which are ready to do this kind of step. They have also necessarily financial resources to do it. And buying a company which has good technology in Europe, let's say, or in US, gives you instant access to maybe a 50 or 100-year-old company, and gives you a total which improves your own products, but gives you also a good and stable access. At the same time, we have a situation in Europe or US where owner-driven companies have a succession question, where the owner wants to retire or needs to retire. The family doesn't want to take over the family business, and that's a good opportunity to grab. Grabbing the opportunity is one thing, but it's a difficult task. I mean, so it's not going to be easy. So you have certain political aspects, you have the legal aspects, due diligence, and above all, you have the cultural challenges. And cultural challenges are there for any M&A activity. It's not only because it's cross-border. We can say that really more than 60% of mergers fail, not so much in the institutional sides because it's just an institutional investment, but if you really want to create synergies, the cultural challenges shouldn't be underestimated. And again, this needs thorough due diligence, needs thorough planning, thorough execution, and of course it needs maybe also sometimes hand-holding along this path. So that's on a high level, the aspects what I wanted to touch upon. As I said, to summarize quickly, yes, going global is important. There are several aspects to keep in mind going global. You need to also make sure is your company ready for taking on some such things. I mean, you always have to bear in mind, especially if it's across continents, a business trip will always cost you at least 1 week of working time. So do you have these resources to do that? And finally, there is the good opportunity globally, not only right now, but it's a couple of years already of acquiring assets in certain target markets, which is something which you might not start with, but you should keep that in mind and you should plan for that going forward. So that's the things I would like to touch upon. Obviously, if there are any questions, comments, please feel free to reach out. Ananya, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Marcus. That was really helpful. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I would like to call our next speaker, Mr. Gaurav Sahal, PhD, CPVA, Consultant, IP Strategy, Pharma and Life Science. Welcome, Mr. Gaurav.
Thank you, Ananya. My screen is my screen visible, Ananya?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, as the case may be.
Gaurav, can you just put this into slideshow?
Is it not? Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. It is not full screen, that's why.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Yes, absolutely fine.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a pop-up. Can you just close that pop-up? Okay, so you have to share the PPT. It is on the desktop. It is showing. Yeah.
Yeah. So Zoom is something which I do not regularly use, so probably that's the reason. Give me 1 minute.
No issue. Take your time.
Is it somewhat better?
No.
No?
Same.
So the next slide mode, can you just stop that next slide mode? Is it possible?
Okay, I will just try that.
Then it will be bigger screen.
Yeah.
Gaurav, I think if it's taking time, can you just transfer the file? I'll run through.
Yes, I will. That's better.
Yes, this is good. Now you just put up a slide so more.
Yeah.
Yes, good to go.
Thank you so much.
Still,
yeah.
okay, fine.
No?
At least it's far better. But can you just no? It is not still doing. But can you just increase this slideshow?
Yeah, I will do this maybe. If this
Yeah,
works
can you just
better.
make it screen? Yes, now fine.
Perfect.
Fine.
Yes.
Better. Yeah.
Perfect.
Sure.
Better. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Sorry, you
Sorry
can begin
about
from
that.
the beginning. You can start from
Yeah.
the.
So probably I'll try to compensate the lost time during the presentation. Before we begin, I would like to thank Santosh for organizing this event and the entire GCPIT team, which is indeed a very good initiative, and I know this requires a lot of efforts. My presentation is more of an extension of the theme proposed by Marcus, which was a very insightful presentation. Before I go to the most important slide of today's discussion, a brief background about me. I bring with me about 15 plus years of experience in the intellectual property practice, primarily on the pharmaceutical and life sciences side. And in my current role, I help all kind of life sciences companies, including a lot of medium and small sized companies, in developing the IP strategies for their innovative products. My experience primarily comes from the patent side, but yes, I know the intellectual property on the trademark and copyright side is also equally important for these companies. What I primarily do is to draft and file patent applications to protect the inventions, and also provide advisory IP services to create robust IP strategies at early stages of the development of products. Of course, when it comes to intellectual property, litigations are a part of it, both for the enforcement and on the defense side. So that is where also my role comes into. And the biggest goal for any company is to keep on growing, and to grow. Mergers, acquisition, licensing, due diligence are the most important cycles. And that's where my key strength lies in. I provide advisory services on IP due diligence, creating the evaluation, devising the evaluation reports for the intellectual property, and helping companies in successful IP licensing and mergers acquisitions. Uh, Currently, I'm based in the Netherlands and working as a consultant with NLO, which is one of the largest law firms, patent law firms in Europe. Before that, I was based in India until last year, and I was acting as a global head of branded IP for Sun Pharmaceuticals, and before that, another pharmaceutical company named Ipca Laboratories. Originally, I am an Indian native, but currently residing in Europe. I am a PhD in microbiology, and then after that, I have been trained on the managerial aspects based on my MBA degree from McKinsey, Australia. And to support primarily the pharmaceutical companies on the intellectual property valuations, I have also been formally trained as a certified patent valuation analyst from the International Business Development Academy, USA. When it comes to IP, I was thinking, what are the biggest questions that a medium or a micro or a small medium-sized company generally have? I have worked in some of the relatively small-sized pharmaceutical companies, but I have also worked in some of the largest pharmaceutical companies. And from my own experience, I gathered some questions which are generally there in mind when it comes to IP. The first question is, I have seen it is still relatively unexplored area for many entrepreneurs. What exactly is intellectual property and what is in it for me?
Gaurav,
And I understand.
Gaurav's slide is not moving.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, now moving.
Yeah, this is right.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. So the first question that comes into for any entrepreneur is, what is intellectual property and what is in it for me? I have seen many entrepreneurs still do not know the true intellectual property. And when it comes to the basic questions, I have been surprised by this fact that the awareness level is so low that people still ask me this question, whether the copyright and design and patents are same or different. So I honestly feel that there is a huge requirement for awareness in this particular area, because IP is a tool that can really help the MSME sector to grow and become big. And that's where this awareness becomes very important. I have been conducting various sessions, starting from the university levels and the research institutes levels, from where these startup companies generally emerge. So this is an area which requires a lot of these kind of sessions where we can create awareness. When it comes to the type of IP that needs to be selected, as I mentioned, it is very important that we identify the right kind of protection for the right kind of IP, whether it has to be a trademark or a patent or a copyright or a combination of these issues. The equally important question is, at what stage of your business you should deal with the IPR issues. Many times people decide that, okay, I will deal with this issue at a time when my product is ready for launch. But at that stage, we come to know that there is a third-party intellectual property because of which you cannot launch your product, or because of which the other companies are not interested in acquiring your products. And it is therefore very important that we identify the IP-related issues at a very early stage and deal with those issues so as to clear the path for your development and launch. Of course, IP has to be an integral part of the business strategy. I can see a clear focus shift wherein intellectual property used to be a part of the research and development team in many companies, but gradually this is shifting and it is becoming more and more of a business driven team. And it is for the rightful reasons that IP is becoming a driving force for most of the businesses. So this question needs to be asked as to how is IP going to help me in achieving my business objectives? And in most of the cases, it is through licensing, mergers, and acquisitions. I have been involved in multiple IP due diligence projects for acquisitions and mergers. And the most of the time that is spent in the due diligence is to evaluate the strength and weaknesses of the IP. And the valuation of such deals is also many times decided based upon the value of IP, because that is directly related to the revenues that your product or your services will generate. So having a proper valuation of IP can actually give a very good indication about the commercial deals that you may be interested in when your business is growing. And when this question comes as to how do I do this, of course, as Marcus rightly mentioned in the previous presentation, that it is important to identify appropriate experts at the right time and utilize those services. It may appear as a cost in the beginning, but sometimes we need to understand that these costs are nothing but an investment, and particularly IP and expert advices should never be considered under a cost center, because these are going to only maximize the revenues for companies. Indeed, the European Commission, because I'm speaking from Europe at this stage, I thought it may be relevant to identify this important action plan of European Commission, which they launched in 2020, wherein EU SME fund is there for supporting intellectual property for many of the SMEs. And European Commission also provides a lot of pilot strategic advice to provide the financial support and providing guidance for the financial support for strategic IP portfolios. I have provided here as a link from which more information can be derived, because that information can be useful for gathering early stage IP valuation and capacity building services. Of course, at a later stage, it is always recommended to hire more experts. But for preliminary services for European markets, European Commission is already supporting a lot of SMEs. For expert services, of course, I represent NLO, which is one of the largest IP law firm based in the Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. We have offices across Netherlands and these two countries. We have more than 100 attorneys in the area of life science, biotech, chemistry, but also on the electronic software and mechanics side. So covering the entire spectrum of the innovation. Of course, we also provide services on the trademark side. So any expert advice if required. NLO has been advising a lot of companies. I can tell that a majority of the pharma biotech startup companies in the Netherlands area are currently taking advice from NLO, and it is a 135 years old company. The office where currently I am based in is based in Ede Wageningen, which is already famous for one of the largest life sciences university, Wageningen University. And surrounding this university, there is a huge pile up of the startup biotech companies who are all being benefited with these expert IP services. This slide summarizes all kind of IP services that we are currently providing to the industry. And the unique part is that we have in-house expertise from attorneys who were previously working in both large and small pharmaceutical and agrochemical companies. You can see some of the biggest names like Novartis, but we also have many startup companies who at some stage became so big that those were acquired by larger companies. With this, I would like to keep it an end, and what I've done is left my contact information here because in 15 minutes it is very difficult to provide a detailed answer to all those questions which an MSME may have for IP, but I'm happy to answer any further questions through email, or my contact details are there. Please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gaurav. That was really helpful. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So next, I would like to call our next speaker, Mr. Alok Vashne, Cantier System PT Ltd, India. Welcome, Mr. Alok.
Yeah. Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry I was traveling. I just landed in the office, and first of all, of course, I would like to thank the Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade for giving this opportunity to share my insights as part of this grand celebration of World MSME Day 2023. And it's a nice afternoon. And well, for to save the time, am I audible here,
Yes,
Ananya?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
You're clearly audible.
Thank you. Thank you. So basically, my subject is basically, about the performance through digitalization. So it's a very large subject. So just for the brevity of the time, I have just compiled some thoughts which are very basic, which I would like to share with our MSME partners here. And before I do that, I have a very attractive quote which appeals to me, is as follows: success is the peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you did your best to become the best you are capable of becoming. So it's a continuous process. And I am Alok Vashne. I am heading a group of technology companies to help industrial organizations, both big and small, to drive their performance, green energy transition, and sustainability through digitalization. So, let's spend a few minutes on this most important subject, the basic subject that we are here for. is developing a transformative vision. That is where we normally start when we talk about our big clients or small clients. So basically, developing a transformative digital vision is as to why. So this is to transform the customer experience, to transform the productivity and performance, to transform the collaboration of employees, to transform the sustainability, and to transform the profitability. And I'm sure my friends here, they must be aware a lot of artificial intelligence, generative AI, these trends are becoming more and more household day by day. And the day is not far when all the businesses, small or big, they will have to digitize their operations, else the people may be left behind by your competitors and by the demanding customers. So coming back to the subject, that to have the developing a transformative digital vision is basically to transform the customer experience, the productivity and performance, collaboration of employees, which is very important, the sustainability, what type of carbon emissions or net zero you are contributing towards. It's going to be very, very important for all. And the profitability, of course. So why this particular thing is important for the leaders? Because only the top layer of the company can create a compelling vision of the future. Because you as an owner of your organization, you only know, and you only can cast a compelling vision and communicate it throughout the organization. So basically, it is the top layer from where it has to start. So basically, how we do it with big clients and small clients, that we basically have three approaches, or we have three perspectives, wherein the number one, we start digitizing operational processes. Now, organizations whose fortunes are closely tied to the performance of their supply chain and core operations often start with this approach. The business drivers of such digital visions are often productivity related and efficiency related, and the need to integrate these disparate operations, and the intent is to increase visibility and decision making speed. These two things are very, very important for big as well as MSMEs. And the focus here is on operational excellence and performance, and how digital technologies and data can help the company grow and improve. And the next perspective that we take is digitizing customer experience. Now, why the customer experience is important? I think most of my friends would know that is the customer ultimately. Whatever you are producing, right? Until you have a loyal customer base, the business is not, and this wouldn't grow. So, digitizing the organizations that the focal point there. The organizations focus the efforts on improving understanding of customer behavior through better use of data analytics and channel. So there are three drivers for a customer experience driven digital vision transformation. One is delivering an integrated customer experience. I'll elaborate here a little bit. For example, you might have heard hybrid models. A store selling clothes, they may be selling it online. They may also have a brick and mortar space, a physical space where you can go, you can choose the cloth, and you can book it, they can deliver it, or you can pick up right there. So they have a combination of physical and digital. So basically, delivering an integrated customer experience, you may find it unsuitable when you try it at home. You may have to return it. Again, it's all digital. Somebody comes to your home. So it's a mix of digital and physical, where your satisfaction is of the utmost importance. So basically, using this type of digital transformation for delivering a customer experience which is integrated, The number two key driver for customer experience driven digital transformation is using digital to establish a better connection with consumers. And it could be multi-channel. It could be on the Facebook, it could be on WhatsApp, it could be on Instagram, it could be through your website, it could be through any other type of digital channel. You can send an email, you can have a call to action there. And the third key driver is using digital tools to understand customer behavior. What customer is searching for, what customer is actually liking or returning, or what are the reasons of their return, or what are the reasons of their liking. There is a digital footprint for all of this. And all this gets digitized at a scale. At a scale means there could be thousands and millions of customers. Individual behaviors can be modeled into your digital plan. And there could be algorithms where each and every customers can be served very individually as per their liking and their past behavior with your website. Whenever they had touched your brand, what type of behavior they did. Based on that, you can articulate your response. You can improve your product. So understanding customer behavior is very, very, very important. Now, the third approach or the third perspective is when we are combining these two approaches, means the operational excellence as well as the customer experience. These are basically the two ends of success behind any organization, whether it's an industrial product, whether it's a consumer product, whether it's a services company. You have operational excellence where you are producing goods and services of better quality at lesser cost. On the other hand, you are keeping a finger on the pulse of the customer behavior, the customer experience, so that you can produce more what customer likes, and you can improve on the product what customer wants. So this combination of these two approaches, where we are digitalizing operational processes and we are digitalizing customer experience to create new business models. Now, organizations with this approach embrace digital transformation with two motivations. Number one motivation is it's often defensive, focused on preserving long-term survival. You might have, had experiences, or you might have heard about companies where they have gone out of the market all of a sudden because of their price or because of their channels or because of their features, because they didn't keep up with the times. So there are companies who want to preserve their long-term survival by redesigning their business models. For example, I will take an example of Yellow Pages. Now, Yellow Pages used to make these heavy yellow books. You all might be aware. And what they did some decades back, they switched to digital advertising. They switched to website design, and they switched to mobile directories. And that's how they survived. And there are many other companies. There are companies like Nokia, the most recent example. They shelved their businesses which did not do well. They entered into new kind of things. Similarly, you might have seen IBM. IBM has gone from digital infrastructure to AI. So there are many companies who have transformed, who have preserved their strengths, who have ensured their long-term survival by a combination of these two, digitizing their operational processes, operational excellence, as well as customer experience. So the first motivation for the company is to be defensive, where they want to preserve long-term survival by redesigning their business models. And the second motivation is the opportunity. Here, company is not in crisis to start with, but they want to basically change their business model. They seek to use digital technologies to extend their reach. How digital technologies can help and break into new market segments. So these people who want to take advantage of new markets, of new customers, or they can take advantage of digital transformation, this mixed model. Now, the most important thing, of course, is how to frame a digital transformation, a transformative vision. So leaders must identify the benefits they want to gain through digital technologies and which strategies will engage customers, employees, and investors. More often than not, we are running a center of excellence for artificial intelligence and smart manufacturing with IIT Madras in IIT campus for last 2 years. And there we have a smart factory setup where we invite MSMEs, small manufacturers to experience as to how a smart factory looks like, how it performs, how the data is analyzed, how the algorithms are modeled, how AI is applied, and how they can have operational excellence, they can have a customer experience thing. So there, what we have experienced is a lot of small MSMEs, they actually do not have a transformative digital vision in place. What they want is an incremental effort, but this incremental digitalization will produce incremental results. But if you have a transformative digital vision, it will have a transformative result. And it's very easy, it's very basic. You have to start with developing a vision. And how you do it is basically you identify the benefits that you want to gain through digital technologies and which strategies will engage your customers, employees, and investors, because it's an ecosystem. And so the three steps that I want to share here with you all to formulate the digital vision is, of course, number one, define a clear target. Now, defining a clear target means what needs to change in terms of benefits for the company. I'll take an example of a manufacturing concern. There are many operations in a manufacturing concern which are repetitive, which can be automated. That will be the basic step. Then there are some steps of the process which are complicated, which are very value add kind of steps. There, a lot of thinking and strategy and innovative approach should be applied. There, we should try and digitize it to get predictions about the future, to get prescriptions about what should be done. So there has to be a clear target as to what needs to change. If there are certain steps and processes in your factory or in your setup which do not need to change, there is no need to fix what is not broken. So we have to be a little strategic about it, intelligent about it. So what needs to change as well as the outcomes in terms of the benefits for the company. So this is the first step. Define a clear target. Number two is engage the organization. Engaging the organization in achieving that outcome to give employees a clear direction while giving them the flexibility to innovate and build upon it. Now, engaging is very important because you may be setting the vision, but the follow-up shall be done by your employees, by your partners, by your investors, by your employees, by your vendors. So everybody should be taken on board so that they can innovate and build upon that initial vision. I'll take an example here. We have done some project with MRF, with Asian Paints, and Asian Paints has been a classical example where Asian Paints, not only themselves, even their vendors, MSME vendors, they helped each one of them develop a digital vision in steps, and they improved upon it. And in the last 7-8 years, not only Asian Paints, even a lot of their vendors and their dealers, they have done a lot of digital transformation in how they do the business, how they conduct it, how they sell it, how they store, how they move the products. And it has resulted in benefits for the all. So, and number three, in forming or framing a digital transformative vision is evolve the vision over time. Because times change in concert with the new needs, because needs of the customers would change with time. And the possibilities created by new customer trends and technical advances with improved capabilities you must be in a position to incorporate all those inputs and evolve your vision over time so that you can take advantage of what is the latest in terms of the trend, in terms of the capabilities. And this has been done by a few of the MSMEs which we have touched upon at our Center of Excellence in Chennai. And we also have a board of, you can say, it's a board of organizations all over the world who are either undergoing digital transformation or aspiring to transform their operations using digital technologies. And it is called MESA. And MESA is an organization where we have a board in Singapore. I represent their board, and we help Indian MSMEs learn about the experiences of various businesses all around the world as to what advantages they had or what mistakes they made in a particular set of digital transformation, what worked, what did not. And this is a peer group. So that's all we are doing. And we are actually in a position to say that we have had experiences with MSMEs who had competition from China. They not only made a better product in India using digital technologies, they shelved out a product with a lesser cost, a better price than China, and few of them are actually exporting the same product to the countries where China was the exporter originally. And one of the fields that I would like to mention here is the material handling field. And we had a lot of equipments and pulley blockchains, for example, that was earlier imported from China. And a set of manufacturers, they used the insights and used our tools and technology to transform their operations in Delhi and in Punjab. And today, they are producing the same product, better quality and 20% lesser price, what they could not. And the Indian market was flooded with Chinese. Now they are slowly and gradually not only gaining the Indian market, they've started exporting the same product. So the gap between a successful make in India and a struggling make in India, I think is a very effective digital transformation. And as our Prime Minister has already stressed during his recent visit, it's not only make in India, it's make in India, make for the world. So I think it's an imperative, it's compulsory for all of us to use whatever best technology we have, whatever digitalization tools we have to achieve better performance, also go for green energy transition, which saves money, and also strive for sustainability, because that is a long-term sustainable business model that all people from all sectors should strive for. And I would be too pleased to follow up with detailed information on this. Because of the paucity of time, I intentionally did not use any PPT. I preferred sharing my insights straight away, and maybe looking forward to more time on the platform and giving you more details to help you through this journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Salo. Thank you for sharing such important information with us, and thank you for giving your time. So next, I would like to call our next speaker, Dr. Dina Yaqub, Chairwoman General Committee of Egyptian Business Women at the Federation of Egyptian Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to congratulate her for Global MSME Champion Award 2023. Over to you, Dr. Dina.
Hello, Miss Ananya. Good day, everybody. I don't know what time is it all around the world, but good day to everybody. Dear Global Council for the Promotion of the International Trade and dear esteemed guests, I am Dr. Dina Yaqub. I am the Director General of Egypt at the Council, and I'm so proud to be. I would like to express my sincere gratitude of being able to exchange my insights and my ideas at the International Days of the MSMEs. Let me just start by sharing the presentation to be able to elaborate more on the subject. Is it clear, the screen? Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Kindly make it in the slideshow format.
This one is clear this way?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So this is the welcome note that I should have been sharing with you, with the most of the fields I'm working in, which are mainly concerned with the business consultancy, with the women empowerment, women economic empowerment, with the African section, or either being at the national team of the COMESA, 50 million African women speak, or the MENA Women Business Club, or the Business Club Africa, or even the Egyptian African Businessmen Association. And I am the president of the Business Women Council at the Federation of the Egyptian Chambers of Commerce as well. So regarding the importance of the World MSME Days, the micro, small, and medium enterprises play a crucial role in driving the economic growth and the development in both developed and developing countries, as they account for a significant portion of the GDP and contribute to job creation, income generation, and poverty reduction. And according to the International Council for Small Business, the MSMEs represent over 90% of all businesses worldwide and employ around 50% of the global workforce. And actually, they are of a significant importance, as they have the potential to promote the inclusive growth by providing employment opportunities to marginalized groups, as women, youth, and minorities. And they are more willing to hire individuals with diverse backgrounds and over flexible working arrangements, and enabling greater workforce participation and social integration. Speaking of Egypt, Egypt is situated in the Middle East with a population approximately 105 million people, making it the most populous country in North Africa and in the Arab world. It is located in the northeast corner of the African continent on the Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea to the east, Sudan to the south, and Libya to the west. In terms of the economic landscape, Egypt has a diverse economy with various sectors contributing to its GDP. Key sectors include tourism, petroleum, natural gas, agriculture, manufacturing, construction and services, iron ore, phosphates, manganese, limestone, gypsum, talc, asbestos, lead, rare earth elements, and zinc. And there are new fields of promising investments in Egypt, like the oil and gas production and exploration, new petrochemical projects, new world-class third-generation refinery projects, new mega joints LNG, liquefied natural gas projects, and industries manufacturing oil and gas materials, equipment, and services. The tourism plays a crucial role in Egypt's economy, with attractions all around Egypt, with a special focus on Suez Canal, which is a strategic waterway connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea, which is another important of revenue for Egypt, facilitating the global trade and the maritime transportation. Egypt is Africa's second largest economy, and the government has implemented economic reforms in the recent years in order to attract investment by improving the infrastructure and stimulating the economic growth. These reforms have included measures to reduce subsidies, streamline bureaucracies, and encourage private sector participation. Egypt has demonstrated a strong commitment to promoting micro, small, and medium enterprises, as Egypt recognizes their importance towards driving economic growth and creating employment opportunities and fostering innovation. Egypt has simplified the business registration, making it easier and quicker for entrepreneurs to establish and formalize their businesses. The first is access to finance, where the government has implemented various programs and initiatives to enhance access to MSMEs, including establishing funds, specialized funds and loans, and providing financial incentives and partnering with financial institutions to increase lending to small businesses, as well as business development services by investing in training, mentoring, and advisory services. And these programs aim to enhance the capacity and skills of the small business owners. Women capacity building come in the core of these services. Technology and innovation support, where the government has focused on promoting technological innovation and digital transformation among MSMEs, like funding innovation hubs, establishing technological parks, and providing supports for research and development activities, helping small businesses adopt new technologies and stay competitive in the global marketplace. As well as the regulatory reforms, where Egypt has undertaken reforms to streamline business operation by reducing bureaucratic issues, including simplified tax procedures, improving customs clearance processes, and implementing e-government services to facilitate effective interactions between businesses and government agencies. As for the infrastructure development, Egypt lately has made significant investments in infrastructure regarding the transportation, the logistics, the industrial zones, in order to better serve the business environment and platforms. As for the entrepreneurship and the startup ecosystem, which is very important, Egypt has fostered a vibrant entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem through various initiatives, including establishing entrepreneurship centers, incubators, and accelerators, organizing startup competitions, and providing funding and mentoring support for innovative startups. For the international cooperation, Egypt is engaged in international cooperation by regional and international organizations, participating in trade agreements, attracting foreign direct investment to support small businesses specifically. For the trade agreements Egypt is a signatory of, there are lots of trade agreements that, like the AFCFTA, the GATT, the GATS, the European Union and Egypt Free Agreement, the EFTA states, the Turkey-Egypt Free Trade Agreement, the Greater Arab Free Trade Agreement, the Agadir Free Trade Agreement, which includes Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, and Jordan, Egyptian-European Mediterranean Partnership Agreement, the COMESA, the PAFTA, the Mercosur, as well as plenty of other cooperation, bilateral, like Jordan, Lebanon, Libya, Morocco, Syria, Tunisia. And in 1995, Egypt and China entered into a trade accord, as well as with the European Union and the agriculture annex to the FTAs as well. Investing in Egypt has lots of safeguards where foreign investors receive the same treatment under law as Egyptian nationals and may be eligible for golden visa from the cabinet of ministers for the investment project. They cannot be nationalized. There is no administrative authority that can revoke or suspend the investment project licenses without proper warning and giving time to correct any issues. Foreign investors are guaranteed residence in Egypt during the term of the project and have the right to transfer their profits abroad. Investors' project may include up to 10% of foreign employment and 20% for investment companies, and they have the right to transfer their compensations abroad as well. The key sectors and industries where which offer attractive investment opportunities for both domestic and foreign investors. The sectors are the energy and renewable energy, the tourism and hospitality, information technology and communication, manufacturing and industrial development, agriculture and agribusiness, infrastructure and construction, healthcare and pharmaceuticals, financial services and banking, education and training, real estate and construction. There are detailed information under each section, which can be available through the Global Council upon request. I'd be happy to share any details that might be in need. Then there are special initiatives to support the MSMEs, of which we are celebrating today, and for which this is the core of the activities. There are many initiatives like Egypt Venture that was launched at 2018. It is a government-owned company. It supports innovation and entrepreneurship in Egypt. Tahya Masr Fund in 2014 that goes through the financing programs for MSMEs. MSMEDA is the micro, small, and medium enterprises development agencies under the Ministry of Trade and Industry. They provide financial services and non-financial services as training, technical support, and mentoring, as well, with a very good focus on the women in the business. There is Startup Support Initiative. It is called Start Egypt. This is totally focusing on early stage startups and InnoVentures platform as well. There are investment incentives, there are industrial clusters, there are access to finance through the financial institute with specialized institutions with specialized loan programs and partnerships with banks to provide tailored financial products for the small businesses. There are financial institutes working the bankings like the National MSME Development Project, the Credit Guarantee Scheme for MSMEs, the MSMEDA, as we spoke earlier, there's TIC, which is the Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship Centers, the Export Development Program for MSMEs, Women Empowerment in Small Project with the WESP, Simplified Business Registration Process. The banking institutions are the Central Bank of Egypt, the Social Fund for Development, Industrial Development Authority, Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises Development Agency or Authority, and the Egyptian banking institutions are all concerned or involved in the process, the international financial institutions, and the business development service providers, as well as the EBDA, which is the Egyptian Business Development Association, and the ILO. Speaking of success stories that have thrived in Egypt and in Egypt, the business ecosystem, we have Fawri. Fawri is a fintech company which offers electronic payment solution. Starting as a small startup in 2008, it secures payment solutions to millions of people, bridging the gap between traditional banking and the unbanked population. There is Visita, which is a digital healthcare platform which enables users to book appointments with doctor and healthcare providers. Since 2012, it is becoming the largest health tech company, one of the largest health tech companies in the Middle East and North Africa. There is Halan, which is an Egyptian ride-hailing and on-demand delivery platform. Launched 2017, it became a significant player in the transportation and the logistics center by providing affordable transportation options. Elvis is an AI-powered personal assistant app which connects users with human-like virtual assistant to perform various tasks such as booking appointments, making reservation, and ordering products. It was founded at 2015, and since then it gained popularity for its advanced AI capabilities for exceptional customer service. Solaris Egypt is a new renewable energy company specializing in solar power solutions by offering customized solar energy systems for residential, commercial, and industrial application as well. As we see, most of the rising sectors are mainly focusing on the technological sector. Okay, what are the success stories fields? The handmade carpets, the textile and apparel, food and beverage, handicrafts, IT services. These are the success stories by field. It created ventures and it created jobs, and they fostered innovations by working with the technology. The investment opportunities in Egypt. Let me just, excuse me. The investment opportunities in Egypt, the promising sectors are the real estate investment, the oil and gas, the agriculture investment, the tourism investment, and the renewable energy investment. What are the incentives to invest in Egypt? There are investment guarantees. There are no commercial risks such as nationalization or expropriation or currency transfer restrictions. There are 3 zones and industrial parks all over Egypt enjoying incentives as tax exemptions and custom duty exemption. There are tax incentives, custom duty exemption, the investment law, which guarantees equal treatment for locals and foreign investors. And there are infrastructure support all over Egypt in regards of the transportation networks, the energy, the telecommunication, the investment zones, the research and development incentives, training programs, and one-stop shop at GAFI, which is the General Authority for Investment and Free Zones. These are done to encourage the MSMEs from different countries for mutual benefits to cooperate with Egypt. Coming to around the last part of the presentation, why should I invest in Egypt? Egypt is a great place to invest because there are a lot of investment opportunities created because of its location, its resources, and projected future growth. The market size is huge. There is 105 million inhabitants of Egypt, which is a potential market by itself. And it has a large domestic market for goods and services, offering significant growth for businesses. There is a strategic location, as we said, it is between Europe, Asia, and located in Africa. The Suez Canal is at the east, providing access to major markets. There are economic reforms that Egypt is working relentlessly on to make sure that the investment environment or the investment climate is suitable for even the small startups who would like to pursue their businesses in Egypt. We said the infrastructure, the natural resources as well, the tourism potential, and what really makes the thing very tempting is that we have around 60% of Egypt's population is young population, and we have skilled workforce in the vocational field as well, which offers a competitive advantage for industries requiring skilled labor such as IT, engineering, and manufacture. And definitely Egypt enjoys a wide range of free trade agreements, as we said earlier. So what are the sectors in the next 5 years? Food industries, real estate sector, renewable energy, tourism, manufacturing and industry, including textiles, automotive, electronics, because the government has implemented policies to attract foreign investment to Egypt. By the end of my presentation, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude for all of you and for this wonderful opportunity of being able to share the insights of Egypt's potential for investment in the MSMEs International Day. Thanks a lot for your patience and your attention, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dina. That was really great and such in-depth information. It's really appreciated from your end. And once again, I would like to congratulate you for the Global MSME Champion Award 2023 and would request you to say a few words.
Thank you, Ms. Ananya. It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, I would like to call Marco Batten, President of the Hungarian Batten Foundation and the Union of Hungarian Women Association. And I would like to congratulate her for the Global MSME Champion Award 2023. And would request her to say a few words.
Thank you, Anania, and good afternoon for everybody. I am now out of my office, so I am in a working visiting tour, and I am with ladies here in the countryside. It's about 1 hour by car from Budapest. Budapest is the capital of Hungary, and we are working now in an incubator house, how we can empower the ladies, the female entrepreneurs. So now I would like to have my speech. And I have only my mobile, my iPhone, so that is my equipment for today. So once more, thanks for the opportunity to share my life, my work, my mission with you. And thanks to Rajab Din Navas to support me on this level. My name is Margit Batyányi Schmidt. First of all, I am a mother of 3 children. They are more than 25 years old. Origin, I am Hungarian, and my husband is Hungarian and Austrian. We are European. I am international open person. I don't know that you know that Hungary is in the Central Europe. The population is less than 10 million people. My husband is from a noble family that has served Hungary for more than 800 years. So we have in the family a lot of tradition. I hold various degrees specialized in pedagogy, sociology, psychology, international marketing, security policy, and other relevant topics, while I speak English, German, and Russian beside my mother tongue. I was the first chairwoman of Copa-Cogeca's Women Committee. Copa-Cogeca is the largest agricultural lobby organization in the European Union, and it works together with the Agricultural Commission. And I have the experience in setting up NGOs in Hungary, which later operate on international level. Besides, I am the president of 3 NGOs. One is working with the Conservative Values, New Society Foundation. The other one is the Union of Hungarian Women Association, working with women's empowerment. And the third one is the Hungarian Batyányi Foundation, which is working with my family's heritage. And of course, I lead with my children the family farm business too, in agriculture. I was a member of the board of WMSME. This is the World Union of Small and Medium Enterprise. It has a United Nations background organization for SMEs. And from here, I have a very good contact from Mr. Rajabdin Nawaz. I carry out professional activities in international organization and represent interest to support organization and enterprises of the Carpathian region in Europe. This is the central eastern part of Europe. Firstly, focusing on women and agriculture. Secondly, based on my diplomatic skills and broad network. I work continuously to convey information on Hungary and its culture, traditions, and spirit to the world. As an expert, I started collaborating with the European Institute for Gender Equality. This is the EIGI in 2017. It's based in Lithuania. I work with other European institutes too. I will speak now deeply about the Union of Hungarian Women Association implemented successfully various international projects related to small and medium enterprises. First of all, in cooperation with the United Nations FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, between 2019 and 2020, in order to support women in Hungary to become entrepreneurs and to internationalize. Under the aegis of the project, the UHW developed an e-learning material and practical guidebook in both in Hungarian and in English for women in agriculture. In addition, the Union of Hungarian Women participated in 3 countryside projects financed by the ERDF, this is the European Union Regional and Development Fund, to set up family and career centers in Hungary, where trainings and workshops were provided to support women in employment and female entrepreneurship. The target was to empower the young women with children to go back to the labor market if they want. Besides, the Union of Hungarian Women has the United Nations Special Consultative Status at Economic and Social Organization, ECOSOC, since 2019, and since 2015 organized the United Nations International Day of Rural Women in Hungary as a bottom-up approach. On the conference, female entrepreneurship is always a key topic to be discussed. The Union of Hungarian Women participated as a partner in an Interreg Slovakia and Hungary cross-border cooperation program, namely the CORD, under the aegis of which female and new entrepreneurs and SMEs were supported by partners to develop their existing or future business. Also, female SMEs ambassadors Role models for VNAPE entrepreneurs were appointed by the consortium. Finally, Union of Hungarian Women prepared a booklet, and it's named, but called, A Practical Guide for Female Startup and Entrepreneurs in Agribusiness, which is a 75-page long booklet designed to support the entrepreneurship of rural women. You can get it in our website. And now our newest project is the Talent A Hungary program. Its education and mentoring program was also implemented successfully 2 times in Hungary. In partnership with Corteva AgriScience, Original, it's an American company which focuses on the empowerment and entrepreneurship of women in rural areas. It's an online education program with 16 lectures, creating communities, negotiations, business plan, presentation techniques, agricultural digitalization, cyber safety, food security, investors, etc. Each 2-hour stages including Q&A session. It's based on Zoom, of course, with questionnaire to receive feedback. There is a micro project competition at the end, and they can get some money to start their own business, the ladies. And the other one, which is going on now with us, it's a European Union project. This is a GOEA, where the Union of Hungarian Women is participating at the very first time as a project partner in a direct Brussels-funded international project called GAEA. The partnership was completed with us thanks to the Copa-Cogeca, and we are the only Hungarian project partner. GOEA is an innovative, forward-looking project aiming to inspire, mentor, empower, educate, train women in agriculture. Transnational collaboration formulated by 13 partners, higher education, technological institutions, representatives of farmers, NGOs, and Copa-Cogeca. Partners are coming from different countries such as Germany, Belgium, Cyprus, Greece, Spain, Czech Republic. The target is to create a map, the needs of the target group, and deliver a holistic training model to develop an innovative and interdisciplinary training and mobile app. Deliver a digital platform to implement a bootcamp and form communities on national level. So, my dear participants, I hope you find my speech interesting, and thanks for your attention. I hope once we will meet physically and have a nice event further. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ms. Margot. And once again, I would like to congratulate you for the Global MSME Champion Award 2023. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So, next, I would like to call our next speaker, Mr. Vinamra Mishra, Director, Technical and Project, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, India. To welcome Mr. Vinamra.
Thank you, Nanya. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you very much, Ananya, for having me here today. And before I start my presentation or my speech, let me first thank GCPIT and especially Santosh ji for conferring this Global MSME Champions Award 2023. I've been associated with GCPIT since now about more than 2 years, and it has been a wonderful journey. The fact that GCPIT is so enthusiastically and zealously working towards promotion of MSMEs, the smaller enterprises, and also the fact that the capacity building of these smaller enterprises and making them more competitive and robust is a very, very difficult proposition. And the fact that the entire energy and a lot of energy has been channelized towards their promotion and their development is a very, very welcome step. And incidentally, the government of India and the Ministry of MSME is also doing its own bit towards the promotion of MSMEs. And it has been a very humbling experience to be conferred this award. And I would really thank the the entire GCPIT team and the people who are involved. They are doing a yeoman's job, and I'm sure that with more and more of all of us coming together, ideating and also supporting the MSMEs, I'm sure a lot of good things are going to come out of this. In India today, we also celebrated the World MSME Day, the International MSME Day, as has been the resolution of the UN Charter in 2017, perhaps, where the United Nations decided to observe this day, the 27th of June, as the International MSME Day, with a mandate of supporting the MSMEs, making them robust and competitive, and making them strong enough to be able to be the growth drivers of their respective countries. In India also, the similar situation is very much here, because the MSMEs indeed are the growth drivers of the country, because when we talk of the MSMEs, we are a total of about 63.3 million MSMEs in the entire ecosystem, and about 99% or even 98% of them are micro enterprises, which are the very, very small, tiny enterprises, which really need hand holding and interventions from the governments and the societies and associations and people like us, and who are all working together for the upliftment of these MSMEs. So these MSMEs contribute close to about 32% of the total GDP, the government of India's GDP. And when we say that we are looking forward to becoming one of the top 3 nations in the global arena as far as the GDP is concerned, we are 5th at the moment, and if we are able to reach the aspirational figure of $5 trillion economy, we will be right up there at the 3rd position. And it is the MSMEs and the associated sectors which are actually going to contribute in a huge way, because the MSMEs actually contribute 37% of the manufacturing GDO. We are accounting for about 45% of the Indian exports, and we are also the 2nd highest employment generator as far as the employment generation is concerned, after the agriculture sector. And moving ahead, as the economy and the sectors kind of take their transition from primary sector, which is agriculture based, to secondary and tertiary sectors, which is basically the service sectors and the related sectors, the employment generation potential of the MSMEs is going to increase in a very, very big way, and we are sure to kind of overtake agriculture as the top sector which are providing the employment in the country. So the task is humongous and huge, and with all these stakeholders together, the government of India is doing whatever it can for the promotion of the MSMEs. And today, over the next 4-5 minutes, I'd like to kind of highlight the various steps the government and the Ministry of MSME is taking towards the support of MSMEs. And so we have identified the sectors or the pillars where the interventions are required. So typically an MSME is challenged with respect to access of finance. That is the biggest challenge the MSMEs have, the working capital or the continuing capital or early payments or prompt payment, and lessening the delays in the payment. So all these factors are accounting towards the challenge, the first challenge, which is the access to finance. Then we have the access to marketing, where the MSMEs are in various different areas in the country, are making one product or the other, or they are part of the supply value chain of any product, but they are not, after the product is made, they are not able to actually market these products to the domestic and the global markets. Global markets would come a bit later, but even in the domestic markets, that is the challenge that they face. So the access to marketing is the second, I think, is the second biggest challenge that the MSMEs are facing. Next, I think, is the access to technology. So the archaic methods in which the manufacturing is being done in the smaller enterprises, in the smaller sectors in the country, the less energy efficient, the technologies which are actually being utilized for various energy intensive sectors clusters also is an indication of the value of technology and the requirement of technology that these MSMEs have at this stage. So the third biggest challenge can be the access to technology. And then overall, we can see infrastructure development. So access to infrastructure and related aspects come as the other important sectors or pillars where we can have our interventions. And obviously, the grievance redressal. There are a lot of grievances. When we talk about 63.3 million of these enterprises, obviously they have a lot of grievance, and their redressal is also something which is very, very important. So all these 4-5 different parameters make up the entire bouquet of challenges that the MSMEs are facing at the moment. And the ministry and the state governments, and in fact, not only the Ministry of MSME, but the various associated sister ministries are also working towards supporting the entire ecosystem of MSME sector. And specifically, when we talk about finance, let me first put a very, very important figure in front of you all. So we have estimated that there are 63.3 million MSMEs in the country. And then we started a system of formalization of these MSMEs. Once these MSMEs are into a formal fold, only then the interventions can be forthcoming. Only then the directed support can become forthcoming. So we started in the year 2021, revised 2020, in fact, July of 2020, a revised classification of MSME, expanding the entire scope of what is an MSME and how the MSMEs can be defined. And on the twin parameters based on investment and turnover, we decided to classify MSMEs as micro, small, and medium enterprises. And we started the Udyam registration system, whereby the MSMEs could, in a very, very quick and a paperless way, they can actually register themselves, keying in their GST and PAN details and their UIDI details, the Aadhaar details. And at the back end, the APIs were shared between the ministries, between the related ministries, and the Udyam registration was done for the MSMEs. Once that is done, the MSMEs can then be eligible for all the interventions that the government is doing or is supporting these MSMEs for. So this was something that we thought was to be done in mission mode, and we are happy to tell the World Wide Web today, who is joined on today's session, that Udyam registration has been a phenomenal success, and within less than 3 years we have touched the figure of 20 million. So out of the 63.3 million, we have already crossed 20.2 million already, even as I speak today. So we have just crossed 20.2 million MSMEs who are actually registered into the formal fold. So the formalization of MSMEs had to be the first step, and that is where the entire data is there with us, clearly segregating these MSMEs into the manufacturing and the services sector, which subsectors and individual sub and subsectors within the manufacturing and the service sector verticals. So we are in the process of expanding this Udyam registration. We have collaborated with a lot of state governments. We have collaborated with a lot of with SIDBI for an Udyam Assist program. So together we are looking forward to more and more formalization of these MSMEs, so that this Udyam registration is the ticket, so to say, for all the interventions that the government is doing for the MSMEs. So the Udyam registration is something which is of paramount importance, and through the session today, I would like to again kind of emphasize that yes, all the MSMEs must register first, so that we actually know who are the MSMEs who need interventions, who are the MSMEs who are short of investment, short of working capital, and through the Udyam registration details, we are actually in a position to assess all this and then have a directed supporting system in place for them. Talking now after the formalization, and now that we know that which all MSMEs are there with us, and more MSMEs also joining this bandwagon. The first challenge is of access to finance, and there have been a lot of schemes which are in place which have been supported MSMEs not turning NPAs even during the COVID times. And the biggest program that is in place is the credit guarantee program. I was listening very carefully to our friend from Egypt, which
Extremely sorry. I think this has been hacked. Okay, so
what am I supposed to do?
Maybe you should complain to Zoom.
I think let me just not allow unknown person anymore. Extremely sorry, sir.
Okay, so let's let the show must continue, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Vinandra. I'm really sorry. Thank you for your time and for sharing such good information with us. Thank you so much.
Well, extremely sorry, sir. It was not known. I think the name was showing Dinesh, so I thought that it might be Indian, and this would have happened. Anyhow, extremely sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So just let me just conclude that yes, a lot of things like the credit guarantee program for the financing part. There has been a lot of support for the technology access also in terms of the zero defect, and the lean programs, which are now underway and have shown real good take up from the and proliferation from the entire MSME ecosystem, with all the state governments and various ministries also supporting these programs. And the program of technology centers has also picked up with more and more technology centers in place. The MSMEs are going to have a lot of support and plug and play support, and also skilling support with the help of these technology centers. So the access to technology is also something that can be that is something which is forthcoming. And as far as the marketing is concerned, we have the procurement and the promotion and marketing systems program, which is supporting the MSMEs showcase their products not only in the country, in the various domestic fairs, but also in the international fairs through the international cooperation or the IC scheme program. So all these programs are there for the marketing support. And as far as the grievance redressal is concerned, we have the Champions Grievance Cell, which is in place for all the grievances, and the reply/resolution ratio is more than 99.4% of the total grievance which have been registered. There have been a lot of banks which are already there as nodes in the grievance redressal portal. There is, in fact, today on the occasion of MSME Day, we launched Champions 2.0, which was more and more technology infused into the Champions portal, with a chatbot also in place, and a system of feedback of the response and the resolution from the MSMEs, making sure that we have satisfied MSMEs after the grievances. So that is something which is put in place. So the grievance portion has also been addressed to a large extent with the help of the Champion Grievance portal, which was originally launched in 2020 June of 2020 by Honorable Prime Minister himself. A lot has been done in the innovation component also, making ensuring the innovation aptitude of the country and the MSMEs is supported. And it is not for nothing that the country has risen from 2014, when it was at the 83rd or 84th position on the Global Innovation Index, to this date today in 2022, when the country has risen to 41st rank on the Global Innovation Index. We are supporting the innovation culture in the country. with our hackathons. And the 2 hackathons have been an extreme success. The second hackathon results were announced today, and we got close to about 13,700 ideas in the second hackathon, which was way ahead, way more than the first hackathon, where we got close to about 5,300 ideas. So clearly these schemes and the innovation scheme, etc., have really picked up. And with our design component, which is in collaboration with the IISc Bangalore, IITs and the NITs, a lot of design projects and the student projects are also supported by the ministry. So all in all, the bases have been tried to be covered, and with the support of large multilateral organizations like World Bank and ADB, those programs have been already approved and started and running, like the RAM program of the World Bank, which we are running since last June. In fact, in the last MSME, on the last MSME day in 2022, our chief guest was Honorable Prime Minister himself, and he launched the RAM program of the World Bank in 2022. And from then on, in 1 year, we have done a lot of good things in terms of mapping as to what next 4 years will be with respect to RAM program. And a lot of state governments have already signed MOUs for proliferation of the RAM program within their states. So the next 4 years are going to see a lot of World Bank support also coming into the MSME ecosystem, specifically towards marketing, towards technology support, and information and research sectors. So all in all, we are really looking forward to having a very productive and a very supportive next 1 year for the MSMEs. And I'm sure a lot of challenges have been taken up head on, and I'm sure the future looks very bright for the MSMEs. And with support of all the stakeholders who are there in the country and also abroad, with all the other countries also partnering with our country in this sector, because a lot of free trade agreements have been agreed upon, like the free trade agreement with UAE, the trade agreements with Australia. We are also in finalization stages of the free trade agreement of UK and EU. So a lot of markets are going to be open for the MSMEs worldwide as part of the free trade agreement and free trade policy of the government. So I'm sure future looks very bright for the MSMEs, and with all of you all organizations who are working incessantly towards supporting the MSMEs, I'm sure together we will be able to produce that conducive environment where the MSMEs who actually need all the hand-holding and support, we will be able to provide that. Thank you very much. And again, just for that small blip, which is really, I mean, I'm not sure what to, but I'm really very thankful to GCPIT for all the support. And also, once again, thank you very much for conferring the GMCA Award 2023. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr.